Well, good evening and welcome back to Rangers Radio. Rangers 1, Hearts 0. And a strange game at Ibrox. Joined myself, Fox, here back in the shows. Port Bear, all right, Port?
Aye. What an advertising for football, looks year. What an advertising for football. I expected a lot more for Hearts, mate. I expected, let me come having a go. But they set up the exact same way Martindale showed everybody how to play against Rangers with the, doubling up on Kent at times with the fullback and the boy Atkinson. And then on the other side, you'd boy Cochrane. And the other right mid, and the Halliday, the left mid, doubling up on Matondo. And I just thought, apart from the ball over the top when they were looking for Giannelli, mate, they offered nothing. And I really expected more for Hearts.
One chance when Big Cross came in and McGregor knocked out and they went through.
Great save. Yeah, great save.
That was it. But here's my positives, and I'll give you my negatives as well when people might see it different. My positives was Tillman's touch. He showed sometimes great. I gave him man of the match, and he was also involved in my negative. Right?
Yep.
Because after 75 minutes, he'd gone. He was born. Aye. And how we're not ready to make a substitute, that's my big negative. Yeah.
Aye. You seen him taking the ball, you remember this, when he took the ball in the middle?
Mm-hmm. He was gone.
He just looked round and he was just looking for anybody to take it off him because he had nothing left to give, which is ridiculous, mate, because the boy did, he frustrated me a bit the first half. I think his movement could be better. He could go and link up with Kent. As a 10, I think he's got to, do a bit more, get closer to Cholak, get closer to Matondo, get closer to Kent and try and, combination plays. He was standing like a statue at times for me in the first half, but he grew into the game and really affected the game.
Agreed, mate. Listen, he's his movements, his strength, it's his touch, mate, and he got his goal, so that's how I gave him man of the match. But my criticism's not him. My criticism's once again the coaching staff, mate, because we can see it. So, and they must be aware of it and how they're not ready to react. I thought it was a comfortable win, considering the scoreline flattered Hearts with the opportunities, and once again we should have made more chances and scored more goals, but we take the victory and we move on, mate.
Aye, look, listen, let's be honest. We lack composure, we lack conviction at times. We weren't aggressive enough in the pressing for me. But Hearts were well drilled this year. You could tell they've been working in that shape probably all week. They've probably been working on that for the minute they knew they were playing Rangers at Ibrox on Wednesday night and say, right, that's what we're going to do.
But mate, to be fair, mate, they were playing Sunday as well. So they were playing maybe later than us on Sunday. So they were the day off Monday. Wee bits and pieces Tuesday. That's the trouble with the fixture schedule at the moment, mate. So that's the way they play at times.
But listen, would you have came and played at Ibrox? I'd have smelt blood next year. I'd have smelt blood. I wouldn't have played like that. I think they're better than that.
Well, I think that's all they've got, mate, and that's what's disappointing. We know that they scored 3 goals against that other mob, and we've seen how poor they were tonight.
Yep. I thought the boy Shankland was very, very wasted in that role of trying to sit on Lundstrom. I thought it was an absolute waste.
John Lundstrom, mate, his passing was diabolical, mate.
I says to old school, mate, just before you come on, you can tell how short some of your players' confidence is, mate, because they can't even make a 5-yard pass, 10-yard pass, and they try to make a couple of diagonals and they were miles off. And it's not just him, mate, there's a few of them. And I've played through things, times like that myself, where nothing goes right Oxford. You try and get your touch, everything bounces off you, a 5-yard pass, and it's so hard to lift yourself. It's really hard to lift yourself. Usually, if they've got your opportunity, your manager will take you to team for a while and say, right, wee man, look, we're going to take you to team until you can get yourself back into 100% shape, or you can just lift yourself to that next level where we know you can play at. But that, to me, there's too many Rangers players that are in that same sort of wee rut. It's strange.
I think the thing is we've got a lot of numbers in my squad and we've not been able to use it, mate.
No, that would help. That would help, no doubt. If we'd the numbers, that's a fact. some of the guys are having to play through, as you said, injury, poor form, and we've got nobody the same quality, we've not got the squad depth to change people and let people have a rest, or let people, sit on the bench for a wee while and see how the teams to play. But it's the result, mate. That's all I cared about. 3 points. Yeah. That's all I cared about. Was 3 points.
Yeah, the old Bridgeman will be happy.
Oh, he'll be dancing his coffee table right now with the Jester biscuits. Yeah.
He'll be, mate. He'll be the chippy, mate. Fish somewhere far up the road. No.
Oh, right.
Oh, tradition, mate. Tradition.
Right,
we'll get these phone lines opened, yeah?
Aye, definitely, mate. Yeah.
Okay, so let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
We also seen some good and bad things. I thought Ben Davis strolled again, didn't do a lot, just strolled it. We weren't under that much pressure. We saw some decent stuff with Liam King. Was they really troubled? And then we saw his inexperience, mate, yeah?
Aye. Yeah, that's what you get with an 18-year-old boy. What I did like about him, mate, was his ball carrying skills. I like the way he's able to step out, and see every time if somebody was expected to step out, Ben Davis rolled the ball to him, and it was him that was carrying the ball forward to go into midfield to try and push Hearts back when they were, and obviously also going off for himself further forward. So, it takes confidence for a young man to take that ball, after experience centre back who's Ben Davis, to, go and step in and go and, link play and get involved with play. So, I like the confidence from that.
I'm not saying that Leon King's going to be the next Franco Baresi, but I think that if you speak to the pros, they'll think a lot of him, and that's the biggest compliment you can get at 18, mate.
Well, just before he signed his deal with Rangers, he had a host of, I think, the Bundesliga were looking at him, and teams from England, so he's well thought of, mate. He's a well thought of young man.
Yes, Scott Wright done quite well when he came on. Ahead of Matondo now, Jim Paisley. right on the right, mate.
Do you know what I think, mate? He was more thoughtful. He was more thoughtful in what he was going to do, whether he was going to take somebody on and whip the ball in, or where the ball was where the pass was going to be. Whereas I thought Matondo was, again, a rabbit in headlights. Not really thought to what he's going to do, just run and try and beat somebody with pace and try and just whip the ball around him. Just strange, mate, strange. I just think it came, when Wright came on, he was more thoughtful in his decision making.
Aye, and if you're going in that performance, Wright's ahead of Matondo, yeah?
Aye, easily, which is ridiculous in a cameo.
Aye. Ryan Kent grew into it again, mate, and maybe gave us the best bit of entertainment of the night, yeah?
Showed us his danger, showed us again, this is what frustrates us on the show, and frustrates people in the stands. We know what Ryan Kent's capable of. If it's not for the boy Cochrane getting that touch, Alfie's got to tap into the back post. But that's the Ryan Kent that we know and love.
You're here, mate, you're here. Decent finish from Matondo, Tillman, yeah?
Aye, he was threatening. He was threatening just before that, mate. He made a couple of wee, runs into the box, tries to beat, Gordon at his near post when he maybe probably should run across goal, but maybe he's trying to catch him at the front post.
Caught across, John. Evening, John.
Evening. How you doing, sons? How you doing, girls? How you doing, everybody?
I'll take the sons back and obviously Ports the girls.
Aye.
How are you, John? A victory, mate. A victory.
Aye, well, 3 points in the bag.
Who's Sean for you? What were you pleased with?
A couple of things. Before everybody starts kind of jumping on the negative bus and saying we didn't do this and we didn't do that and this was the X or Y. Man of the match, I didn't really agree with. I don't think Ryan Kent was man of the match. I think Ryan Kent done Ryan Kent type stuff. But I really thought Malik Tillman put some shift in the night.
I gave him man of the match, mate.
showed what he's got, and he was doing a young Scott Arfield or a top of his game, David Beckham.
High praise, mate. High praise.
We lost John Ox.
High praise, John. High praise. I thought Tillman deserved it for his movement, mate, and his touch at times when he took the ball in close. He's got a lot of things to learn, I think, in his game, John. What?
Aye, definitely, mate. I think, but like I said, he looked to me like he'd been given a rocket at half time in regards to his movement and his endeavour.
Who did you get that after your brother-in-law?
Aye. So and I think that's how he affected the game better in the second half. He looked more positive. He covered more yards, and that's what Malik Tillman's going to need to do, mate. If he's going to need if he wants to stay in that team, because he's definitely got it when it comes to playing in that number 10 role. Because that touch he's got just wipes people out. And he's a great player, mate.
You back with us, mate? Oh, I've lost him again, yeah. I think he's touch at times, mate. He does things with the ball. It's great, but then he's got to get fatter. If I'm being honest, you back with us, John?
I'm back with you. Aye, I don't know what kind of concrete there. It's just smartphones are not that smart.
Still putting the two pences. You're still putting the 2 pences in the phone book.
Right, so I don't want to cut across them if they were speaking.
No, you carry
on. I thought Tillman was outstanding, and him and Leon King. Davies put in a good shift, but then again, Davies is a cured professional. You know what I mean? He's like a cured ham. You're expecting to get a game out of him, so no surprises there that he pulled his weight. Leon King, again, for an 18-year-old boy, being the kind of focal point when Ben Davies was out, he was the only real centre back we had. So we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago when he was only the actual centre back on the park at 18. So he's going to be, hopefully, the Rangers curse will not hit him, and he'll be a great one for the future. But Malik Tillman, Lundstrom put in a great shift as well. I'm not saying anything against Ryan Kent. Ryan Kent done Ryan Kent type stuff. But the injection of Scotty Arfield, again, I don't think Scotty Arfield's got the legs the last 90 minutes. But the fact that he comes on and he's just got that infectious personality, he's loved in the dressing room, and when he comes onto the pitch, everybody picks up. You can just see it. It's not the fact that he's going to go and score a hat-trick, or he's going to dummy 3 players and beat the keeper with a back heel, but he just brings that wee spark of, you see him looking at people and saying, get your thumb out of where it shouldn't be. But for me, Malik Tillman was honestly the man of the night. He was everywhere. He was away making tackles. He was in the left-hand side. He was in the right-hand side. He was making forward passes. He was nipping the ball off people. And Scott Wright, who a lot of people don't have taste for, look at the difference that he made the night when he came on.
I agree with most of what you said there. I don't know. I feel everybody sees the game different. He's running off the ball is good. I'll give you that. I didn't agree with you about Lundstrom. I thought Lundstrom's passing was poor, but everything else I agreed with me. Port Bear.
Aye, John. I think Lundstrom is pretty wasteful tonight, mate. A lot of, like I say, I think it's a confidence thing with a lot of players in my team, and Lundstrom looks to me like he's going through the same sort of low confidence mood. At the moment, he can't make a 5 or a 10-yard pass, and that's not like him. If you remember back to the form he was on the second half of last season, where he was our main man and he wasn't missing a pass. But like John Lundstrom does, he still gave us everything, covered everybody the glass.
I think there's a reason for that, but
I got on, mate. I got on.
I think there's a reason for that. I don't necessarily think it's. I don't necessarily think it's down to necessarily a confidence thing with Lundstrom, because he's old enough now. He knows he's in ability. If I'm looking at the whole team, what I'm missing for Mark Warburton's age, and it was carried on all the way through, was it doesn't matter if we're not the best team on the park, we'll be the fittest team on the park. And I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing teams that are a yard short on everything. They look half it. And I don't mean desire. I just mean they're just no. By the time they realise something's happened, they're not in a condition to get back to it. Whereas they were before. If a mistake was made, it was spotted, not just by one player, but by the team. And everybody would bustle back, or everybody would bustle forward. It was, if they made a mistake, we jumped on it. If we made a mistake, we jumped on that. And I'm just finding that everybody looks a yard off the pace. I don't know, there's been a lot of rumours about Gio's training methods. Again, rumours are rumours. It might be true, it might not be true. It's no conspiracy theory, but something's not right. To a certain extent, I mean, I would have made enough couple of injuries.
If you're no fit, mate, right,
their idea of fit, their idea of fit's different, Ox.
Oh, speak for yourself. You're talking to a couple of athletes here, me and Port Bear.
Oh, aye, yeah.
Right,
thoroughbreds.
Right, so I think they're definitely fit. Whether they're as fit as in the previous regimes open for debate. What I'm saying about Lundstrom is, I just think his decision making and his passing, he's slow, and that's a fault in his game. When he plays well, he moves it quicker. And the night, I thought he was a wee bit laboured at times, particularly in the second half. He just got a wee bit caught. But listen, he still got pass marks because the whole team done all right tonight. Let's be honest. I mean, we didn't have. There was no 9.5 out of 10s, but there was no 2 out of 10s because the whole team, we actually 1-0 flattered Hearts, John.
Aye, but I think Lundo, to be honest, is Lundo on a bad day is better than some of the players on a good day. I think he's one of the guys that will show up, put a shift in, and he'll put his hands up to his mistakes. Stevie Davis, he was at his best tonight. I'm not trying to say he was.
No,
but again, it's a system. They pushed him forward, and then they pushed Sands kind of like in behind him to let him roam forward. But again, anybody that's ever played, and it's one thing Rangers are not looking at. If you've got a settled keeper and a settled back four that you can rely on, it lets everybody in front of them get that wee bit extra confidence that they don't need to build themselves, because they know I've got a lineup, I've got a brick wall behind me.
Oh,
literally. They don't have that now, so everybody's on double duty.
Who's rolling the fags and making the noise? Put your phone on mute. I think we've also been joined by Jim. How we doing, Jim?
How you doing, Jim?
Hey guys, how you doing?
All right, 3 points in the bag.
3 points. Hey, we had 2 or 3 blue noses to go in the part to change the game, actually. That's why I looked at it today. I say blue noses, 3 guys that's been there a couple of years. They changed the whole game for me. They 3 substitutes changed the whole game. Now, we all know Morelos and Kent play well together. They can't have been playing well because Morelos says they played well. Morelos comes on, Kent turns it on. It's common knowledge, everybody knows that. The 2 play well together. I don't know if Morelos threatens them in the dressing room. A conspiracy theory. But he just turned it on when Morelos is playing, Kent plays well.
I would still like to see Morelos and Cholak on the park at the same time. More often, if I'm being honest.
Hail. Sorry, that was a ring phrase to say.
You're on the ring show for that, Port
I know, but no, that's 100% in the background for me. I was dying for him to take somebody off, and I couldn't decide who. And I thought possibly Matondo, and just put it to a 4-4-2 and leave Kent on.
I would have took Matondo off after 10 minutes, and I'm being kind. Porter.
I think after the first 20 minutes, mate, I agree with you. Matondo looked like a guy that's bereft of ideas. He just looks, he's got blistering pace, mate, but he doesn't know how to use his pace. And this knocking the ball by, these guys...
He not make the boy once and then try to do it about the next 5 times, yeah?
Aye. He's up against a young boy, Cochrane, who I thought played him half apart, mate. A young Hearts, youth player who could match him for pace, who could, out-muscle him, match him for strength. And Cochrane, that's why Matondo went off, mate, because Cochrane played him half apart. Cochrane didn't. I think he beat Cochrane once, which is ridiculous for a boy that we paid £3 million for. But he's got to learn to use that pace better than that, mate. You can't just run in straight lines. Running in straight lines isn't going to get you anywhere.
That's what kills me, Port, is the fact that we paid that amount of dollar for him, because that amount of money is, to a certain extent, you're looking for at least 75% of a finished project. If we paid money for Hadji, we knew what we were getting. And again, has anybody any updates on him? Apparently he was fit to come back a month ago, and yet it's all went silent again. No,
mate, I'm thinking see Hadji to the new year, and you'd be lucky, mate, to see him this season, and he replacing it. Once he's fit, he's still got the hard yards today. Port.
Aye, he'd also had a breakdown. Obviously, I've been watching the build-up where they've televised it. His build-up basically, and his process of coming back, and he had a breakdown just last month, so he's further behind again. So I think I'm going to go with you say. I think you might not see Hadji next season, mate.
That's that, and it means he's missing the World Cup as well.
Aye.
Yeah, he was never getting back. He was never getting back for that. But listen, Jim, we won the game. The best team won. We should have scored more goals. We never peppered the goal as much as we would like, but we still deserve to win, Jim.
We did deserve to win. I was just wondering about the substitutions. This is when we can make proper substitutions, and that everybody can see the 3 subs they made absolutely changed the game. It really turned it in our favour for another 60 or 70% of the whole game, because you were always feared. You don't know what's going to happen. I know we all love Leon Kent. We know I love him. He found a wee bit against Ajax. That's cool, but he's all a boy. He's on the back defensive cell. But you've still got to worry about the boy. It's only 18. Everybody keeps saying that. He's only 18. I played football when I was 18, playing with big boys too. I didn't play defence, obviously, but I'm too fast for that. I was up the wing, there in rank. And
you brought glamour. You brought glamour to the team, Jim.
Aye. But you know what I mean, though. I think the guys a lot know what I'm talking about. But today, you just don't know what's going to happen in their back, their central defence. Some of these people can nick through. And anyway, I think the substitutions were correct at the time. I'm sorry. I think that was my looking at the game tonight.
Who also went on when Sands went down? It looked a totally innocuous challenge. Who went, here we go again.
John. I thought that too. I must admit it. What's happening now? Who else is coming through? Have we got MD? You'd have been foreign bridge, man.
There was a boy in the bench. It was one of the Leicester boys for the academy that was on the bench. He was a left-sided centre half, but I've never heard of the boy before. So possibly Dave Voss has brought him, said that he's watched the academy and thought the boy's got enough to maybe make a substitute's appearance or a bench appearance. But they're looking at it from an Ajax point of view. They're not looking at it from a Rangers Hearts point of view. To be honest, the thing with Cholak tonight, Cholak he got a couple of half chances and snatched them, didn't really get the connection he was looking for. Again, he's not that type of striker as far as I'm concerned. Alfredo is that type of striker, but Alfredo's no fit. Alfredo's no sharp. And I always think the guy's getting...
Morelos should have scored there.
He should have scored. But again, what was that boy's name? Toby... The big boy that was at the back, it kept cleaning... he went shoulder to shoulder with Cholak a couple of times and just literally ran him right down the line to the ball.
You saw it in the first half. You saw it in the first half.
Until Morelos came on, and then Robbie Nielsen basically took him off Morelos, made sure that he wasn't on Morelos at all. Because he thought Morelos will bully you. You're strong, he's strong, and Morelos will win, or Morelos will go down. So fair play to Robbie Nielsen. He's not a mug. Robbie Nielsen went to that guy, right, move off onto somebody else, and let Morelos take on let him take on the other centre half, because the other centre half will look like he's getting bullied, whereas you look like you're getting beat. He didn't want to put strength against strength, so fair play to Robbie Nielsen for that. It was a tactical move, because I was dying for Morelos to come on earlier and go up against that guy, because I thought he's technically bullying Colac. Even though they're both big guys, he stood his ground with Colac, and Colac couldn't match him physically. And I thought, Alfredo will turn you. And yet, by the time they come on, and somebody said earlier on, I don't know if it was yours, I was down to see, why don't we just risk picking the two of them on and playing a 4-4-2? Especially Hearts at home. We can afford to push the full back on, which means we can afford to play a narrower four in midfield when the full backs go forward. And Glenn Kamara again came on, and he wasn't half bad. And I don't understand why this guy's not playing more games.
But he's just coming back for injury, Port.
Aye, Glenn Kamara's still coming back for injury, John, and I think Gio's just taking his time with him. I think it was a sensible substitution taking Tillman off for Kamara, because it brings a more defensive element into the midfield just to see a game out at 1-0. If you think about the game as a whole, there was very goal action at both ends. I thought the two Hearts centre backs had a right easy first half. I think they looked. It was easy for them. The whole back four, they worked in a shape where they were doubling up on Kent, doubling up on Matondo. And that's why Rangers had to change their shape and make it themselves and bring Arfield into the game, because they needed another guy to run in, get out of the box and cause a bit of danger. And it did work. As I say, Wright came on and was more thoughtful in his decision making, and was excellent. Kent came on to the game in the last 20 minutes and, really pushed Rangers on. But Hearts, for me, offered nothing. And I find that very disappointing, because from a footballing standpoint, that could have been great to watch. And Hearts are the big travelling supporter tonight.
Well, I mean, if I was a Hearts supporter tonight, I would have been very disappointed. Because Rangers, to me, did they look strong. They had some talent on the pitch, but nowhere it counted defensively. I mean, Leon King's raw. Ben Davis is new to the club, and he's no the skipper. So Tav looks either that he's been told to play a different role, or he's injured. The rumours are that he's carrying an injury and he's needing an operation at some point, but it's still relatively minor to know. But again, you keep playing the guy, it's going to become major. That guy's been a tank for us since he signed.
Did you call him?
If you're watching him running and see the big loping runs when he just opens up his legs and he's loping up into midfield and cutting inside and all that, that's not been happening for the best part of, I don't know, the last, 8-10 matches.
Just cut across you, John. Somebody's either got a TV or the show on in the background. Can you turn that off? It's coming right through. You might not hear it, but we can.
No, I think it's. I've got earbuds, so I think they were sitting next to the phone, mate. That better?
Yep. They're so sensitive, mate. They pick up everything, as we know our cost sport. Listen, look, I think Tav's been injured. Hopefully, if it is minor and we've got one more game and then we get him back, it might be like having a new player if he comes back energised. We've took some gamble and we've paid a heavy price for it, Port, because there has been times where he's been involved in his dropping points.
Aye, and you could see where Hearts were trying to, affect the game. The Rangers back in the night, they tried to affect it in behind Leon King and Tav, obviously, because they know Tav's not running at 100% at the moment when it comes to pace. And I touched on it in the first part of the show. where I felt there's a lot more coming down the left side for Borna this year, and may I add quality. Tav's not getting forward anywhere near as much as what Borna's getting. So to me, he's protecting himself, and obviously the manager's protecting him because they obviously don't trust young Adam Devine yet to throw him in there. I mean, would it be fair? Adam Devine and King on the right hand side, two young boys. So I think the captain's making a captain's decision in saying to Gaffer and the medics, look, I'll continue to play. I'll continue to play as long as I can until it either goes next year, which I don't want to happen, or he gets an operation.
John, is it no pretty obvious to the teams we play against? Rivers go down our left hand side just now. Well, Ken can't get by a player. He's looking for Borna Barnes to go outside him, and his crosses haven't been great. We were a one-trick pony the last, I don't know how many league games we played this season, but that's all we've seen we're doing.
I think managers have got to switch it up. They've got to have more than one game plan. And basically, the night Hearts knew that the ball wasn't going to the right onside. It was going to the right onside. It was getting recycled, brought back to the middle, brought back to the left, back to Borna, and you could see Borna looking like a real stuck. If he didn't have an absolutely clear pass to Ryan Kent, then he wasn't going to take it, and it was cycled back.
Solskjaer would say, was it smoking enough grass or something? Would you always say Solskjaer something about the grass and all
that? I went Fox. He's the grass expert, Jim. I think with some players like Matondo needs grass to play in. He can't. A player gets uptight about him. He struggles. You have to play the ball in behind, and he has to run in. Ryan Kent. We've seen in the last 20 minutes what the positivity of Ryan Kent. The couple of runs he's done were excellent. If I criticised him, and I didn't think he was great in the first half. Wasn't poor, but it wasn't great. But the way he finished the game, a couple of tremendous runs.
But you finished the game well because Alfie.
Well, man, Jim, your name's no Port. Your name's no Port, there. Carry on, Port.
Aye, mate. Ryan Kent can take out 2 and 3 players at ease, mate. I mean, there's not many players can run with the ball as quick with the ball at his feet, by the way, as Ryan Kent in your league. I mean, he can run sometimes probably faster with some people without a ball. So, and his step overs and his tricks, chop when he chops back and makes him into the box. He's a handful, mate, and that's why they double up on him. That's exactly why they do it today. They set all these teams set up to stop Ryan Kent, but that should always leave space, mate. And we don't seem to utilise space. Well, that's where I think Tillman could utilise that. If Tillman would go and get close to Ryan Kent, or go and get close to Matondo when they're getting doubled up on, he would find more space and therefore draw one out, which would leave that another space for Cholak. And that's where the combination play comes into, playmate, because Tillman's got to offer more movement next year to allow Ryan Kent to get more space and Matondo. I
would like sometimes the players to go away for the ball and give space and get in beside our forwards. There was a time where I think it was Kent got the ball in the first half, and there was only Kolak in the box, and we were up near the edge of the 18-yard box. I would think sometimes that a player should be making more runs, like Arfield does easy. You get more players in the box, but listen, it's the tactics we play at the moment, and the manager will live and die by his decisions, John.
Well, I think the manager, if he lives by his decisions, then it can possibly prove positive. I've got to say, and I'm not making excuses, the injury problems are an issue, right? There's a couple of key players out, right? But I'm saying again, a couple. It's not a full team. We're not talking about 11 first-team players, like guaranteed slots, first name in the team sheet players that are out. We're talking about a couple. Most of the players that are on the park by now would all be in the squad anyway, regardless of form. carrying injuries. But the difference with Ryan Kent, just you said earlier on, the second half, he burst into life. That was purely down to Scott Arfield. Scott Arfield was basically making mad attacking runs. I don't mean they were mad, but like Scott Arfield does, he was making mad attacking runs into the box where players were going to have to go and mark him, or he was going to be unmarked by a tap-in. So they're getting dragged out of position, where beforehand, nobody was doing that. It doesn't matter that Scott Arfield's possibly not going to get the ball, or Scott Arfield's not going to score. The fact is, he's in there, he's a threat, and he needs marked, so somebody's getting pulled out of position. Gave Ryan Kent their space. Ryan Kent's suddenly not getting double, and sometimes I was watching him and he
I think he's 2 bits of magic came the night when he was surrounded, Port, didn't he?
Malik Tillman as well.
Aye.
Some of the turns that boy did, and when people were literally stepping on his toes, and he literally turned the ball.
He's got that move when he turns and lets the ball go through.
But apparently we're not taking up our options on either of the players. Sorry to cut across you. We're not taking up options on any of the players, him or Sands. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, only time will tell, mate. Maybe there's a plan. A master plan. Port. Wait a minute, let Port speak, and then just wait till you hear your name. It's not difficult. If you're struggling, just write it on the back of your hand. It always helps, doesn't it, Port?
I've got a crappy news. It doesn't sound that great.
I like a linear pen or something.
All right, Jim. Just remember, you sound like Tim, Jim.
Yeah, by the way, don't start that, Kerry. Yeah.
Right, carry on.
A serious conversation.
In regards to Kent, mate, he does his best work sometimes. You know, in fact, most of the time when he's surrounded with players, because his touch and his skill is outstanding. And it's brave to take the ball. There's all different types of bravery. People will throw him into challenges. People will take, he knocks and he does. But to take the ball and take spaces like him and Tillman do, and that's when their magic happens, because people get so close to him last year, and if you get close to a player like that, you're just going to get made look like a fool. And that happened a couple of times with Malik Tillman and Ryan Kent, mate. So, I wouldn't get touched tight with players of that ability, mate.
Can you come, Jim? Or was it Tim?
Honestly, I think Ryan Kent's got ideas above his station, to be honest with you. Okay, he did come on again in the last half hour. We got half an hour at Ryan Kent. Well, I don't know if that's good enough for me. I know the boys are saying he gets doubled up and trebled up, but just because we keep playing the ball to the left hand side. Everybody knows the way we play now. Bona overlaps him, and here we go again. Sometimes it's nonsense.
It's no enough out of Ryan Kent. You're right, in the first half there was opportunities for him to shoot and you could hear the crowd. But what you've got to say is you've got to be fair to the boy. If you critique him and say he done bad stuff, you've got to be positive with him when he done a bit of magic, if you're being honest, mate.
Oh, sure. I'm going to say something today. That's not my opinion. That's why I come on here.
Yeah,
to be controversial sometimes.
I value your opinion, James.
No, but see, you want him to shoot, he doesn't shoot. See, you don't want him to shoot, he does shoot. That's how I feel now. Go with the boy,
I think that's the fact it's an easy game when you're watching Port Bear.
Hurry up, Port.
Port.
I understand what you're getting at. We critique fairly, I think, on here. I really do. I think, we say it how it is. When players have been off form, they've been torn apart at times on here. And when they do the good stuff, they get the praise, mate. Jim's right, though. Ryan Kent needs to do it for 90 minutes. That's all I'm expecting of that guy, mate. We know he can do it. We know he's capable of it. But like I touched on in the pre-show, mate, I still think there's a problem with the fitness. I really do. We're not a 90-minute team next year. I've still not seen us playing a full 90-minute game this season. We don't press as high. We don't chase the boys down the way we used to. We don't hunt in packs. There's just something off in the Ox here, and I just can't put my finger on it. Why?
Well, maybe it's simple. They're just a team void of confidence.
Aye,
No,
that's
Oxford,
fair.
we've always been that. We've always been like Oxford. We die a day for 20 minutes in every game for some reason. Whether the first 20, we lose a goal. The last 20, we lose a goal. We may be okay in the middle 20, but we're 20 minutes out of a game for the last, I don't know, many years now.
Well,
Since
Northern night with Burnley, we actually won that game very comfortably, if I'm being honest. John?
I've got to go back to the point of fitness related to confidence. I don't think that the two necessarily marry together. We've got no concrete proof that there's a lack of confidence in the team, that Gio's not making them confident. We've not just went on a run of bad luck. It happens to teams. It does happen. Teams just, like, I was watching the referee tonight and he had VAR and he was pulling Rangers players up for, like, all sorts of stuff. And I'm not being, like, the victim here, but there was a couple of things, like the Barisic run when he cut inside and his jersey was pulled and, like, 3 players were running him, they were all having a fire at him, and he thought he was going to get a whistle and he just kept, he kind of looked up like, I'm not getting a whistle, and just kept going with the ball and managed to put a cross off, and eventually went to Tavernier, and Tavernier was expecting it and skied it as usual. But that immediately should have been, you know, there was no advantage in that. The fact that Barisic kind of got up for being manhandled for 3 men with his jersey obviously pulled, that is immediately a free kick.
It's a booking, isn't it? Really?
I would have said so, aye, because it was basically that they were just trying to stop play. And you get a lot of teams that'll do that. A tactical foul's one thing, and I approve. If my team does it, I approve. So I can't disapprove for another team doing it. But when it comes down to the last third and you're maybe going to hit a killer pass or a wee short one, or maybe even take a shot just outside the box, and you're pulling people's jerseys and you're trying to take the legs off them, and it was blatant. And Barisic ended up getting a yellow card for dissent, you know, which is one of these things. Leave that to your skipper. That's his job. Your skipper walks up and does that, and if your skipper's not doing his job, report him to the management and say the skipper's not doing the job on the field. But when it comes down to fitness, regardless of confidence, I'm seeing guys like Ryan Kent who have got a certain skill set. Now, you can't say Ryan's constant or he's no constant. Ryan Kent does what he does. He's always going to do the same thing in every single match. He's going to try and beat a player. He's going to try and look for that opportunity. I personally think he doesn't get back onto his right foot, cut inside and put a shot off enough, because he's no left-footed, but he plays on the left side and he's right-footed. Whereas Haji's two-footed. So if it came down to it, why not switch it up and throw Ryan Kent onto the right? You know, just occasionally, just to switch things down. I just don't get that. It's a staccato. It is an absolute staccato. If I'm Derby County...
Take a breath, mate. Take a breath. Take a breath, mate. Take a breath. And breathe. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath.
A what?
Take a breath. And breathe. Hold there.
We spoke about it pre-show, didn't we, Oxford? I actually wanted Matondo to start on the left because I feel Matondo's been... That's where I've seen him at his best. And we're always crying out for this right-sided, mid winger, which we've got. Ryan Kent, he's right-footed, just to keep the width at times, because like you touched on earlier on, Oxford, sometimes when Ryan Kent cuts in on his right into the box, he's running into congestion. He's bringing more defenders in the box with him, which takes all the space away. So what you want to do is, I'd like to see Rangers stretching teams up on a front three. Ryan Kent staying wide, hugging the touchline, and Matondo on the left, hugging the touchline. I would like to see that a bit more, mate, because I think at times when they run in and they cut to the right and he's running to goal, he's congesting the box, mate, and killing space, which to me sometimes it frustrates the life out of me, because That's why Jolak was shouting and ball on the right. Jolak was actually shouting because the service time was poor. He wasn't getting the correct runs. He's pointing to where he wants the ball, and it wasn't coming to him.
Wasn't
wait a minute, Jim. Just wait till you and then let's hear from you.
You have a bingo caller or something?
On 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
And you come now, Jim. It's not difficult. Just wait for your name.
No, I can't remember what I was going to say there.
Sorry, mate. I forgot about that.
I'm on the jails. Had a good start.
Right, so
I'll make
Jim. If you remember.
I was going to talk about my Brady's. Remember the top of the Brady's I found the proper filling for Brady's. It's actually mint.
Is this for your air fryer?
No, don't name the air fryer, mate, no. No, you could know that. I've had an air fryer for about 2 years. Fantastic things. And apparently they're up in price. I got mine cheap. But apparently it's mincemeat. It's the best. I was using sausage meat for the Brady's, which was that's why they weren't working out for me.
Oh, bro,
too much fat, mate. That's too much fat.
Apparently.
Every day is a school day, Port Bearer.
I'll sleep the night, Oxshire. I will sleep the night knowing that, Jim. Thanks very much, mate. I will sleep the night.
Right. All in all, we've had a few bad days, and we'll all be debating that time. We'll be talking about it. We'll maybe start tomorrow night, but Friday night's my plan to talk about the accounts that come out. But it's been a good day for the club, in my opinion. Positive set of accounts, moving in the right direction. Some interesting conversations to be had. And we won a game of football, so we move on, and we'll hope it's the start of better things. Port Bear after Saturday, we can get Saturday victory out of the way and hopefully get Golson back, Lawrence back, Jack back to help us with the spine of our team, and we can improve in the second half of the season, mate. Indeed, mate, because the three of them just bring quality as well. So get these 2 games won in the World Cup. Get everybody wrapped up in cotton wool. Medical team, get your finger out and get people sorted. Because I think we've had far too many injuries this year. And come back stronger. And let's start a run next year. Let's start a run. Let's finish this season perfectly. That's all I'll ask. Finish the season perfect. John?
Ox, I'd just like to add 2 small points into if you're doing a wee questionnaire, a poll, whatever you like to call it, for the Mora, is one, they've released the accounts. So I've seen the figures last night. I want to know how much litigation we're still involved in, and how much that could drain out of what they've said the profit margin is. Right. So that's one thing. If anybody knows, then it's all rumoured, but we'll find out in the end game. But these things are always protracted. They go on for months, and they drain and drain and drain away at the finances. So what they're saying is an operational, like, we've made money. I'd like to know how much of that money is still swirled away. See that new phone you've got? The speaker's lovely on it, but see the earpiece? It's not so good. I said we were going to talk about it on Friday. Aye, that's what I said. No, Friday, sorry. Aye, we're going to talk about it Friday. No, I'm just saying, if we can bring it up as a general topic on Friday, but the other thing I'd like to discuss on Friday, I will do. But the other thing, if it please your mind, sir, is the World Cup in Qatar that we're just about to come up to. Oh, I'm not your World Cup man. Port Bear's your World Cup man. Port Bear. I just thought like football and stuff like that. See, we're not going to be there anyway, so it gives us a chance to still talk about football while, season's off.
I'm a bit strange. I only talk about one football team. Port.
It's not. I used to get excited about World Cups next year. I used to get really excited about, these tournaments. But I can't believe, for one, where it is, two, the timing of it, during championship, seasons and that, when, all these crucial periods at Christmas usually are, when leagues, and some leagues are won, some leagues are lost, etc. So I just think it's bringing the whole, world football to a halt, mate, and it's an absolute shambles, if you ask me. It's just only my opinion, of course.
Strange how that happened, isn't it?
Money talks.
Jim, there's a lot of things used to make you excited, eh?
Well, I'm excited about this World Cup. I'm not excited about it. I'm just happy to be here to watch it. I hope I'm still here. But me and my brother, the first World Cup we watched was 1966. And then we always have a laugh every World Cup comes in. We always see each other. Good, brother, we're still here. For that World Cup going by. So now for you, So that's the way I look at the World Cups.
I get it. Well, it's a whole debate on its own. Right, okay. Who did you go for man of the match, Jim?
Tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good question. First, it was a game of the old cliche game of two halves, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I quite liked Ludsham in the first half, for the first 20 minutes. He looks as if he's doing a bit of running. I know the boys are saying, John and Portner, he can't run. He seemed to cover a bit of ground in the first half. I think he was covering for the back four. It's all my opinion. Don't start shouting me down. The manager made some good substitutions there when they brought Alfie Owen, Scotty Owen and Scott Wright Owen. And they made a difference to me. So, okay, the manager, the man of the match, actually.
All right,
for a change. For a change, right? Could have given him pelters for the last.
That's fair play, son.
Aye, Jim's a fair man. John?
That's very magnanimous of you.
Yeah, he's one of life's good guys. He does a lovely buffet as well. John,
for me, it would be, I've got to say Tillman.
I'm in your camp, mate. When you score the goal, it's a big shout, eh?
Well, no, I'm not really in that camp at all. I always feel that like the Ballon d'Or goes to strikers, and man of the match goes to the guy that scores the goal, even if he only came in 6 minutes before, and the other guys have worked it for 94 minutes. It's a guy that actually made the impact on the match for the longest amount of time and made the kind of biggest impact. And I thought Malik Tillman he was a monster the night. He really was. Without him, he was the player that really strung it together. He was everywhere on that park. You saw him back in front of the defence. You see him in central midfield, nicking tackles off people constantly nicking the ball, which is the problem that we keep having, is everybody's looking about and we're getting the ball taken off us. And he was the guy that decided to turn that round and say, right, I'm going to be the guy on your toes, taking the ball off you if you wait too long. And he was also instrumental in all the chances that we had. He played a really good game tonight, and I hope that we get more of the same for him, and we do take the option on him. Apparently, we're not taking the option on James Sands, which I think that guy will go and play for probably either a first tier club or a Premier League club, and he'll flourish. And we will be like, oh my God, how come we never stuck with him? Like, we were all moaning for him to get out, and then we're all going to moan to get him back. It's the way of the Rangers fan. We can't wait to get them out, and then we're all pissed off that they left.
All right, cheers, mate. Bear. Last word for your good self, mate.
I thought Marek Tillman, second half, mate, influenced the game. Seemed to get sort of a free roll where he could drift left and right. I think that helped out, with space, helping Kent, allowing Kent into the game, and also right. So the three behind the striker tonight for me, mate, orchestrated well as soon as Tillman came into the game in the second half. So No, thanks very much, mate, for having us. He was my man of the match, so thanks very much for having us, mate. Cheers.
Always a pleasure, mate. You know that. You're always welcome. Right, okay. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, John. And of course, thanks, Fort Bear. Thanks to
Thanks for having us all.
No, mate, phone in on Friday when we're going to debate the accounts and what's happening at the club.
Here, I'm going to make something else during the week. I'll tell you during the week what I'm going to make.
All right, I look forward to it, mate. I look forward to it. See that thing you done with the king prawns last year? You going to do them again?
Well, absolutely. No, I've been making an Indian dish this week, so you'll be looking forward to that, probably.
All right, mate. I look forward to that. Thanks very much, mate. It's
Is this just for you, Ox, or are we all getting some?
Big dish of big core. I'll send it a routine for you, right?
Oh, it's a
seriously, I'm
Have you had your invitation?
I don't. Seriously, no. I've not my invitation. I'm a chef, and if there's job going, I want some.
Check your emails, mate.
Aye.
Send a post, John.
All right. Thanks, lads. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This is Rangers Radio. And we'll all be in a better mood tomorrow. I wonder why your team. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Down at the drill hall, the boys all wait to sing. Each one determined to join the Western Line. They swear their allegiance to country and to king. Proud as the football songs they sing. A boy sees his hero, says, hey, that's Jimmy Spears. He should be playing football, he's no need to be here. But Jimmy smiled politely, it's my duty, nothing more. Boys, we've a bigger goal to score. Sing for the boys, sing for them all sent to fight till the last soldier falls. Sing for the boys, row after row, destined to lie where the red poppies grow. The boys land in Flanders, their journey's just begun. Jimmy swapped his football for a bayonet and gun. The songs the crowds were singing, still ringing in his ears, as he fought as a loyal volunteer. When the army marches homeward singing songs along their way, Jimmy won't be with them, where he fell is where he'll stay. The Great War is over, it's no 90-minute game. 4 years, 3 months and 14 days. Sing for the boys, sing for them all sent to fight till the last soldier falls. Sing for the boys, row after row, destined to lie where the red poppies grow.